Everyone ready? Stuart, you ready on the stream over there? Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome home to the Cherry Red Record Stadium here at Plough Lane for this Meet the Manager event. Thank you for braving the absolutely crap conditions out there, because it is miserable. I mean, Terence's Barnet has taken a bit of a wash this evening. Still looking good, mate.
Bit more wavy than usual.
Oh, mate, still looking good. Firstly, I think it's right that we offer congratulations to our management duo of Johnnie Jackson and Terry Skiverton on signing new deals here at AFC Wimbledon. They are our management team going forward. I think that does work. Johnny, first up, congratulations. Oh, okay, yeah.
I thought he was coming in for the answer.
No, I was just going in for a question. Well done, mate. Congratulations. I mean, what a difference a year makes in time. This is a very different football club now compared to the back end of last season, compared to a year ago. However you look at it, whichever way you look at it, we're in such a different position, and it's due to 3 people on this table. I'll discount myself.
Am I?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm mic'd up. Well, it's not just 3 people. There's a whole bunch of people, hundreds of people really, that have played their part. But yeah, me and Terry, we're absolutely buzzing that we're staying on, that we're continuing the work that has got us here, got us in a good position. It's took a lot of hard work, it's took a lot of suffering at times, but we're really pleased with how things are going, where we've got the football club to, and it's taken a real team effort from a lot of people, and we want to continue that now, because obviously we haven't done anything yet. We've got the club on a real good footing that's given us a good platform to go and attack the rest of this season and beyond now. So yeah, we're delighted that we can carry that on.
Terence, happy to be here for the foreseeable. Do you want to pick up your mic and talk to everyone? I mean, I know you are a face in Bristol. You were proud to announce that to me after. I mean, he's had a glow up. If anyone doesn't know what a glow up is, get on Urban Dictionary and Google. Don't go on Urban Dictionary, just Google glow up. He's had a glow up. He's looking good. He's feeling good. Are you happy to be here in South West London with us for the foreseeable?
I think you got Rocket at the back. I think round the training ground, normally I'd be considered a misery as a staff member, but no, I'm. At the beginning, it was a big transition in coming to the football club, but I think now with the time, meeting people, growing really good connections with supporters, staff members, players, learning about the football club and what it means to the local community, and sharing some really big lows that Gaffer we both admit to, and fighting through that, and also with the patience of supporters and us being able to turn it round and being given the opportunity. I do really feel like a Don now. And I love coming into work every day, and I love being at the football club, and I'm really excited about how far we can take this. And it's a work in progress. I think now with Craig coming in, it was the final piece of the jigsaw to our management structure, and it's just now how far we can go and what we can build, because it's the foundations are here, but now it's time to move forward.
He shied away from the glow up comment. He's looking fantastic, and there's a lot of nights out in Bristol. He told me proudly a few weeks ago at the training ground, as I'm a face in Bristol. I was like, no, tell you are. So less nights out in Bristol, more time on the training ground, more time with us here at Plough Lane. Head of Football Operations, Craig Cope, is to our right. Copey, busy old few weeks for you. We'll get on to transfers a little bit later on. But how pleased are you to secure the services of these 2 fine men for the foreseeable future?
Massively. I think everyone else said to the gaffer then, the last time me and him was sat up here, it was quite different, and it weren't great. It was we've all been through some pain. Obviously I came a little bit later, but part of the reason I came here when there was a couple of people up for my job was because obviously I met Johnny. I didn't meet Terry at the time, but I met Johnny straight away, and I wanted to come in, work with these people and just help out where I could really. And I think we've all gone through a lot of pain. We've all started to lay those foundations that I said the other day, and we're now, all of us in this room, are part of a journey, and with these guys on, we can start planning for the summer, we can start planning ahead, we can start getting this machine that is this stadium and everything else moving forward.
Let's get to it. Chaps, tell me about the season so far. We had so many outs, but loads of ins. I remember sitting up here with you at the start of the season, not really knowing what to expect. I don't think we expected to evolve so much as a team, but we really have, and it's genuinely been a joy to watch this team progress this season.
Yeah, well, I mean, the work started when the January window last season shut, and we started looking towards the summer. Craig obviously came on board, and we was like, look, obviously the season at that time wasn't panning out how we wanted it, but what we said is like our focus now needs to be on shaping it how we want in the summer, and it's going to take a lot of hard work and recruitment and getting the right people in, and that ain't easy. It ain't easy, but we felt like we'd done some really good work in the summer, and we done it really early. A lot of the good stuff we got done early. I always look back at the Reevesy, the Jake Reeves signing, who's obviously now our captain. That was the first sign that we'd done. It's the first player that I spoke to. He'd just been promoted from this league up to League One with Stevenage, and one of the things that we spoke about a lot was getting lads in with experience at the level and success at the level. So to get someone like that, and obviously a previous affiliation with a football club, to get someone like that early was a huge marker for us, and it gave us the confidence to go and build the squad. So that took a lot of hard work, but we got it done early. We went away to Spain with a real good bulk of the group together, and that allows you to start moulding your team and doing the work of how you want your team to look. And that was really important this year, that we had a team that you guys could recognise, be proud of, and most importantly that it represented Wimbledon, you know. And that took a lot of hard work with the recruitment side and the work that we done in pre-season, so that we could try and hit the ground running, you know. Don't want to sit here talking like we ain't top of the league, you know. So there's loads that we still need to do and do better, and we will continue to strive to improve. But I think the strides that we've made in that time, in that 12-month period, is huge, and it's given us a real good platform to try and get where we want to get to. You know what I mean?
Terry, I'll come to you in a minute. Craig, if you look at your remit as head of football operations and sort of the Craig Cope chart of progress, where are we along your chart and with regards to your vision? Because crucially, the board have brought you in because this is what you do best. This is your job. You build football teams and you work with management teams to produce results. So where are we along your path?
So it's important to understand where we've come from. One of the biggest things we've done this year is being open and honest with each other and transparent. The club hadn't finished in the top half of the table since 2011, apart from one season, which was obviously a fantastic season. There was a lot of things happening off the pitch, and everyone goes, is it the manager that all the results are the same? Is it this? Is it that? But we're getting the same repetition. So I think the easiest one is when a boat is heading towards an iceberg, you've got to turn that boat around. But it takes a lot of hard work. So at the minute, we're starting to turn that, and I think we did probably more than I thought we would have done in the summer. We had a real hard summer, and said about the cull and all that. We got 15 out, 16 in, including the academy lads coming up. So now we've got a style of play. We've got management committed for the next 2 years. We've got a start of a spine and a core. So I would say we've just started to put that first layer in, because everyone in this room wants to be successful season on season on season. We've got to start eking back up now. So I think we've made an excellent start. As the gaffer just said there, we've got loads to do. We're not where we want to be yet, but we're all on the journey, we're all aligned, and we're all content, I think, where we are. Just before we push on, can everyone at the back hear Craig? Yeah? Can you hear Craig? Or do we need to turn him up a bit, maybe? Sorry about that. Yeah. Everyone, I want to turn Johnny up a little bit louder. There you go. Can we get Johnny turned up a little bit louder if possible, please? To anyone?
Dealing with the mucks. There you go.
Might have had that muck
Just
a little bit.
there you go. Don't worry, Pete's on it over there. No, swat. Pete's on it over there, mate.
All good, Pete?
Yeah, he's on it. Look, he's over there. Just a question for Terry. I went to a place in Suffolk yesterday to catch up with someone who used to play for this football club. Played here for a year, scored quite a few goals for us. And he was really, really full of praise for yourself and for the gaffer and the management team in general about changing the style of play and incorporating something that people would call housery, if anyone knows what I mean by housery. Let's call it the dark arts. We are so much more tougher than this time last year. It feels like that sort of soft underbelly that we once had is gone. When you step out on that training pitch 4 or 5 days a week, what have you been instilling into our players? What's changed?
Very good question. I don't think it's much as in what's changed with us. I just think it's the type of character and the type of person that we've brought in. One thing that me and the manager are very aligned on, and we felt that when we first walked into the club, we didn't have enough of it, and it's written all over our walls. And it's, you know, we want to bring players in that are willing to fight, block, tackle, and run. And we feel if you've got people that will do that, it doesn't matter what formation you play, your tactics, but these people that will go out and show that passion. You know, I call it white van man, and you know, I'm a supporter of a football team, and all you want to do is see effort. And you know, you talk about, you know, housery and managing the game better, but if you've got too many young players out on a pitch at the heated end of a season or the important times of a game, you'll come up short. Because the opposition, we played Mansfield the other day, and they tried to slow the game down at every moment. You know, it was a tough environment. Both technical areas was very heated, and it was, you know, to say the least. I was actually calm. The first time in my life, I was calm, and you know, the manager was calm as well. And it's making sure that we get them decisions right. And I felt, you know, the way that we kept plugging in the game, we kept our cool. Gaffer made some excellent substitutions, and we end up sharing an absolutely magnificent moment, which at Plough Lane, there's not too many late moments like that, and we do want more of that. And but we feel that I always like looking round and seeing a bench where you've got really ugly faces like Harry Pell, Lee Brown. Experience, I mean, not just them sort of people, because we want them to be playing, of course, but to turn around and have an experienced bench so that when there's 10 minutes to go, they already know what to do. They can smell it, they can feel it, you know. And if you're just throwing 5 kids on at the end, it's not the same value. And it's not about us teaching it, it's just about the game management, the know-how, and having that experience of being in them situations before. When we first walked in to the football club, the last 15 to 20 minutes of a game, we could really feel anxiety running through everybody. The whole stadium was full of it. I don't feel that anymore. I feel that we've moved past that, and I feel now that we can really, you know, we can really go on and get results and push on, whether we're winning or losing or drawing. And that's a massive step forward for us as a football club.
As you can see, there's no script, by the way, tonight. We're going to kind of follow the conversation as it meanders. I realised that I didn't give you a menu of events. We're going to take some questions from yourselves in a bit, then we're going to have a bit of a break, give you the opportunity to go and get some drinks from over there. Come back, we'll have some more questions from the floor, and we'll have some more questions from those watching at home on YouTube, on social media. Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us. Just talking about Mansfield, you really played that down. I call it a Royal Rumble because the loser got a £700 fine today.
Got off lightly.
Yeah, I thought so as well. Compared to what the gaffer had a 900 game ban for doing nothing.
What did you make of it? I mean, I thought Tell would be up there with his WBC, WBO belts. Cope, you took a... I mean, what was your perspective?
It's actually annoyed me today. have something, is that too loud? And it gets done double that, and he's got some geezer up face to face now.
There you go. Eddie Hearn, eat your heart out. Just going back to that game and touching on it one last time, Ronan Curtis's goal, that's what I call a proper plough lane moment. If I was to sit here and write a book, I'd think back to Oxford under Robbo and Jack Fedoni and Ayuba Sal and Wimbledon playing that football. Obviously, we know where it led. But just, if you look at those plough lane moments, being here at our beautiful new home, that would be one of them. 97th minute, you're halfway down behind the South Stand at one point. I mean, tell me about the emotions, because that's raw football, that's football romance right there.
I think that moment right there, and I said this to the players after, it's why you do it. It's why you do it. You know, it's why we love what we do, and it's why you guys support your football club and why you come every week, because you wait for those moments, didn't you? And unfortunately, we probably ain't had enough of them as a football club.
300.
Especially since coming back here, you know. So to have that moment together was unreal, and that's probably why I got a little bit carried away. Got myself another band, which I think is a little bit harsh. What I want to do is just join in the celebrations with the lads, but it was such a tense game. The ebbed and flowed and the sending off and loads of different stuff at the end of a really tough week for us all. And you know why, but so to have sort of 3-4 days to pick ourselves up and everyone up from being really, really low. I've got to tell you, it was, I know, you said about the tough moments, one of the tough moments. So to go again and get everyone back, and then for it to culminate in that moment here with everyone together was unbelievable. Like for me, that is the moment so far of our tenure, and it was great. I loved it. I'd do it again. I'd get the band, give me a 5 game band for that moment. You know what I mean? But, we want more of them. We want more of them. And they're a top team as well. So I think I'd have reacted like that if it was against anyone. But let's remember where they were second in the league. You lost twice in a third defeat. That is a great win. Great win. Ebbed and flowed, and we rode our luck and stuff like that. And I know Cloughie had his little moment after, and he could feel aggrieved, and maybe on the day, maybe that was right, but just speaking to a couple of the guys back there, but I felt we got outdone by up at their place where Jordan Barry should have had a second yellow. Do you remember, Craig? And we might have played half hour against them with 10 men there, deservedly so, and we came away with a good point, but that might have been more. So everyone tells me these things even up, and I'm not quite sure I believe in that, but I think that was one of them moments when it did.
I don't think anyone here will ever begrudge you celebrating a goal at this football club. So, Johnny, thank you for doing that and for that sort of outburst of passion. It's what we love to see. Craig.
Yes.
Concentrate. Shall we? It's looking over there. Right. Shall we talk about the January window? Look, big outgoings, massive incomings. How do you feel we are placed as a squad going forward into the run-in?
I think we're well placed. I mean, we spoke about what we felt we needed from our collective experience being around playoffs and bits and bobs. We thought we needed to bolster the attacking ranks, so we're going to bring in some really exciting attacking players with a lot of variety that suit the way we want to play out there. Obviously, big disappointment to lose Ali. To be honest with you, the plan weren't to lose Ali this window, but I think the gaffer keeps saying Ipswich were probably the worst club for us to come in for him. Knocking on the door of the Premier League, the player knew how much he was going to earn and how much we could win the Premier League. So it was tough for us to end up standing his way. So once he gets to that stage, you've got to try and get the best deal for the football club. And I think we have got a very, very good deal for the football club. And it meant that the timing of it, obviously with him being out there, meant that we could act quickly and we had ducks in a row and got players in.
Boss, for you?
Yeah, I agree. all along I said, let's not come out that window weaker. I'm not going to dance around it. It'd be stupid of me to say that, we've lost Ali. We all know that he was our best player, maybe. He's certainly, a key part of what we're doing. But if that was to be an eventuality, it had to be right for all parties. Now, the lad, I don't begrudge the lad at all. The lad's going to get a life-changing deal. My fear, when my phone went, it was Kieran McKenna. It was the worst possible phone call, because I felt like that was probably the best club that might come in for him. A club not as good, I don't think he goes, because it's probably, it's not in his interest, but it's a life-changing opportunity for the boy. They're flying high, but it also meant, because of the type of club coming in, that we could get a great deal for the football club. So it had to be right on all parts, and it was never part of the plan to lose him. But what we had done, thankfully, is have a succession plan and have people in mind that we felt that, although we wasn't planning for that, you have to plan for the worst, the worst eventualities. So what I think we did do really well as a club is react quickly. So we brought Josh Kelly in, and that was someone that we'd had our sights on from the summer, but we just didn't feel that was the right time because of the people that we had in the building. Lights have gone off. Lights have gone out on Ali. But we're really happy with how we reacted to it, what we done, the business that we'd done. Obviously, like for like, bringing Josh in, but the work that we'd already done in bringing John Kamani Gordon, signing Ronan Curtis, on a permanent. These are the attacking options. That's not even starting on, making Joe Lewis a permanent, which is a massive, massive bit of business for the football club and a real show of intent. So the problem is centre forwards are always they're the ones that everyone wants. And when you got a player like Ali who's scoring goals, he's going to bring the attention, and that ended up happening. But listen, he leaves with our best wishes. For me, I loved working with a boy. He's an absolute diamond of a kid, and I think we all enjoyed the 12 months that we had out there. But we move on. I hope that he goes on, ends up being a Premier League player one day. That's great for us as coaches that he goes on and done it, and it's great for us as a football club because we'll be rewarded in the type of deal that we've done. So it worked for everyone, and the difference is this time, maybe in previous windows, we've gone and replaced, and that's not to put big pressure on the guy that we're bringing in, but we're really happy with the business we've done, and we feel like we've moulded the squad. Listen, we've got a few injuries, and maybe we'll touch on that later, but that's part of it. But the squad that we built, we're really happy with.
Kobe.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I think Ipswich needs to be our second team from now on. We could do with them getting promoted. Ali doing well, but no, honestly, he leaves with our best wishes.
I went and saw him yesterday. Let me tell you, if anyone's worried, he looks like a year 7 with everyone else. He's bless him, he's so shy around some of the bigger characters, and he does miss us here. He also asked me to get his PlayStation for him because he said Suffolk is very, very different to Walton-on-Thames. Is it gone?
He's not our player anymore.
It's in our games room now.
I think he can get his own PlayStation.
Oh, he's get my PlayStation for me. I'll tell you what, I'm going to ask one more question. It's this man here, because a couple of days before the end of the window, I can't remember, I needed to get hold of you for something, and I text you, and you said, Aaron, I'm busy, I'm in a hotel room recruiting players. Who did you recruit in a hotel room?
Well, I think we've learned from previous windows. I think Craig's first window was probably all of our worst day at the football club, recruitment-wise. I think we lost Paris Magoma, Riley Towler, and Ayub Asal all in the same day. Same half hour. And Craig came in, and I swear I've never. He's got rosy cheeks and that, but I've never seen a human being go greyer. So I think the thing for us was the way that Ipswich acted. They came in early to give us time, which was really good. Before we spent, I remember deadline day, we was We spent a lot of time around the training ground. There was a lot of distractions, and the gaffer and Craig said, well, as a management team, we've got to get away from that environment. We've got to go somewhere where we can make it almost like a war room, and just have our heads making calls, dealing with all the agents, getting the deals done. That if people don't realise, but we had, I think, maybe 2 or 3 fall through on deadline day. So you can imagine the anxiety and the stress that's around that. So to get away from the football club and to really lock ourselves in and become a really tight unit and a team, I think really worked this year. And for me, I'm always got my mind on the defensive aspect of things. I think we've come out as a playing squad stronger than we have done in the last few windows. January, few windows with the football club, and we're really confident of what goes down the tunnel at the moment.
So the hotel room was a success?
My one afterwards, or the one...
Don't want to know. Okay, let's open the floor up to some questions. We're going to have a few of them from in here. Then we're going to take some questions that have been emailed to the club this afternoon, and we're going to take some questions from YouTube and Facebook. So who's got the mic? Is it you, Christopher? Okay, Chris Lavin has got the mic. Anyone want to ask a question, please raise your hand. For anyone here. Okay, gentleman here.
Hi, I'm Roy, and this is a question for Craig. In the early days when you joined, I think it was down at the training ground when we were doing the tidy up, I had a conversation with you, and I'm pretty sure you mentioned that because of your background at Solihull, that you felt confident you knew pretty much every player right down to Conference North level in the Midlands and North, but you felt you still had a bit to learn because the sheer geography further south, Conference South, and I guess the conference teams in the south. Do you feel in that time you filled that gap and got that knowledge?
Yeah, thanks, Roy. As long as you don't test me, I'll answer your question. No, definitely. So obviously, geographically, and players we signed in the past were probably Oxford and above. Obviously, coming down here, geographically, you see some of the players we signed in the summer, we've brought them down as well. So, no, we get out to games 3-4 nights a week, and obviously having Andy's local knowledge, and we've got a couple of scouts down here. But it's also going to meet the clubs. And me and Terry went to a game the other night. Went down to Kent the other night to watch a game, and you bump into people. So it's not only you getting eyes on players, you're meeting new contacts, and someone will go, "Have you seen so and so at this club? Go and have a look at him. Have you seen so and so in this club?" So just naturally from being down here, being in the area, yeah, I've got a far better knowledge now.
Yeah, just a small second question. What were you thinking about when that photograph was taken of you?
I don't know, but I want to thank Mark Jones for painting my hair in. I wish he could do it in real life, and I've had a couple of people asking if I'm going on the chase.
Okay, next question. I know there was a hand up right at the back of the room. So, yeah, well, yes. Go on, Slav. Where was that hand? No, Slav, where you gone? What's he on?
Hello.
Hi, Matt.
Sure, what's the question?
Yeah, so it's Matt. It's another one for Craig. When Ali actually went towards the end of January, there was a little bit of a meltdown on social media. My God, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Obviously, I had no doubts that you had all your ducks in a row. I think there's a certain portion of the fans that need reassurance that you have plans in place, and plan A, plan B, plan C, whatever, for every eventuality in the playing squad, even things that come completely out of left field. Are you able to give us that?
Yes. No. I think we did. So everything we do, the three of us and the staff at the training ground, and Rocket can vouch for this, I hope, we're open, honest and transparent with each other. So we'll have conversations that we probably don't want to have and don't want to really know the answer to, i.e. losing Ali, losing other assets in the club, loans going back. But I think we're all long in the tooth now, and we've been burnt enough times, i.e. last January, to know that we can't rest on our laurels. So planning for that, the summer started as soon as January ended. Planning for January ended as soon as summer, started as soon as the summer ended. And we are, don't want to put pressure on ourselves, but we are well ahead in terms of this summer. We've already started talking about it pre-January. So we know, obviously these guys have got to concentrate on the coaching, making sure the team right, motivating them 11 lads on a Saturday to go and perform to the best of their ability. And I'll just chuck in with, let's talk about this today, let's talk about this today. But when we do it, we all sit down, we get in a room, and we just plan. So it's mine and Andy's job to go and get a list of players for each position. But the contacts on this table, including Aaron, to be fair, we're getting players thrown at us all the time, and we can, with the systems we've put in place, we can vet them out, move on. So we are going to have times we get caught out, because that's just the nature of the business and what we do. But I think the three of us, and that's pleased with these two signing new contracts this week, I think we've got a good working process that will help us plan for that eventuality.
Next question for, there you go. Go on, Slav. Just give him some sort of holding music. Just be in the middle.
Thanks. First thing, that photo does justice. Looks like a boy band gone to seed.
Sell out worldwide though, won't we?
Sorry, guys. Johnny, apologies. I didn't know you'd signed a extension to your contract when we spoke earlier. So, congratulations to both you and Terry.
Thank you.
I'm really pleased you've done that. I just wondered if you could give me a bit of an idea about where we are with Omar and Georgia. I mean, Amani Little, with their contracts obviously up at the end of the season. Have you had discussions already with them? Are they open to staying? I appreciate you might not be able to answer all of that, but it'd be nice to have an idea because they've been so important to us this season.
Well, the short answer is yes, we have, and that ties in with what Craig was just talking about. You know, recruitment is one thing, but obviously keeping the important the players that we've got in the building that we consider vital and important to what we want to do going forward. So I want to get ahead of the game as far as starting next season, pre-season, day one with the biggest and strongest group that I possibly can. And those guys that you mentioned obviously come into our thinking there. So we're well aware that time is ticking, and we made it our priority. Obviously, when the window's open, with the Ali situation and moving parts there, you know, a lot of our focus was on that. But me and Craig sat down on Feb 1, was when it shut? Feb 1? And said, right, where's our focus now? And it needs to be on the players that are out of contract that we want to keep, and putting all our energies and our focus into trying to get those guys tied down. So yeah, obviously you've mentioned a couple of names there that I haven't, but we're working hard, and that's already underway. That was already forefront of our minds long before January, believe me. But you have to leave your space and your energy, if you like, during that window to be ready to move on anything that might happen in that period. And now that window's shut, I think that gives us a really good chance to progress those types of situations, and they've already started. We had a good discussion, myself and Craig, yesterday, wasn't it? With a player that I won't mention, but a player that we think's key to what we want to do, and I think we're really confident that I think we've given a lot of players a platform to go and show what they're about, and we can help each other, can't we? We can be a vehicle for people that want to progress higher, because we want to go higher, and we can achieve that together. And we feel like if we're smart about the way that we spend the money that we've got to spend, that we can tie people down to the right deals as well. So that's what we'll be focusing on in the coming months.
I just want to add to that quickly. Obviously the timing is great, and obviously we'd have loved to assign players down probably a couple of months ago or a couple of weeks before the window. No player in their own right is going to sign a contract at a football club when they don't know who the manager's going to be. So obviously these guys have been announced today. It only came, I think the players might have found out yesterday. So it was really hard for me, I don't pick the team, to have conversations with those players when obviously contracts were going on. And a lot of the players were drawn to the football club and are drawn to the football because of the coaching programme and what the manager and Terry deliver. So now that that's settled, we can have a full run at it.
Yeah. Where's Slav gone? Where has he gone? Oh, there you go. So you listen to your advice. Next question, please.
Johnny, before the season started, I asked you about the risk of losing Jack Curry.
Yeah.
He's obviously still here, which we're all delighted about. What happened in January with Jack? Was there interest in him?
This January just gone?
Yes.
There's a lot of noise around Jack and interest. What does interest look like? That's scouts coming to games. That scout rings up, wants to come to a game. They never tell you who they're coming to watch, but you can tell by the type of club who's coming that who they might be. Is that fair? Who they might be coming to watch. My bet is a lot of people are coming to watch Jack Curry because he's playing every week in League Two, because of his age and because of how well he's doing. But what does interest look like? Well, eventually it's got to be a phone call from a football club making a formal bid for a player. That never came for Jack in this window. So he's well aware that he's doing really well, that he's got a platform that's going to hopefully progress him. Again, like I say, I hope that we can be the vehicle for Jack because he wants to go and play higher. Of course he does, and we hope that all our players have got aspirations to do that. But we want to do that together. But he's a young lad that's doing really well. He's racked up a lot of games now. If you look at his Eastbourne time, senior football, not in the league, but senior football, the season before last, racked up a lot of games last season, playing regularly this season. So there's was he 21, Jack? 21?
I think so, yeah.
21-year-old kid that's played a lot of games and he's doing really well. So naturally he's going to attract that interest. But we're protected as a club. We've got an option on his contract in the summer. I would fully expect that there to be a lot of interest in Jack in the summer, and that'll be something that we'll look at. But I still like to think that we can both reach our aspirations together. But when the summer comes and those conversations are there to be had, but there was a lot of interest in Jack in January, but nothing that sort of made us think that we needed to think any differently about how we do. But
also, Gaffer, if I could just add, we were just really pleased that Kieran McKenna didn't try and go double bubble with Ali and him. Because against Ipswich, I thought he was the best defender on the pitch by a million miles.
I agree.
I've got to say that he's an absolute joy to work with, the boy. He's a diamond of a kid. He loves being here. He loves the football club. If you've seen what Stuart the guys put out yesterday, he's very much a part of what we're doing. And until the day that he ain't here, that will continue. I've got no doubts about him. So I think at the minute we're really happy. He's really happy. And we'll just continue to monitor it as that goes.
Just building what you said about Jack and his persona, is what you just call a lovely boy. But our group on a whole this year, we got some really, really good human beings in there, like good quality people.
Yeah, we have, but that was. It's a little bit of luck that goes with that, but there's also it's not lucky because when we are talking about recruitment and we never sign a player before meeting them, or at least at the very, very worst, talking to them on a Zoom meeting and stuff like that, I always try and sit with a player before, making that decision. Sometimes that's not always possible, but it's always, at the very least, a Zoom meeting, and I think you get a feel for people. And what we've tried to implement is, and you've heard it before, I think it was the Kiwis, wasn't it, that said it, but we don't want any dickheads. Do you know what I mean? We don't want any dickheads because dickheads, no good. And that was one of our big policies around our recruitment this season. Good players, experience at the level, success at the level, which I spoke about earlier, but also the right types. The right types that are going to fit in with what we're doing, going to fit in with a Wimbledon team. And like you say, a good people first and foremost. And you ain't going to get every single one of them right. It's impossible. People might come across blinding on a Zoom, but they're keeping something back off their sleeve. But I think generally speaking that we've done well. We've been really lucky with the types that we've recruited, and got to say we've got a great bunch of lads.
The questions are flying in on social media. Keep them coming in because we'll be answering them after a quick break. We've got some questions that were emailed to the club as well this afternoon. Slav, if we could have one more and then potentially have a little break. First one back after the break, if possible, please. That chap over there.
Evening, Cormac here. The meeting from last May was alluded to, and Johnny, you sat on that stage and took a lot of flack. You absorbed it, and small bits from that you've either acted upon or you had those qualities, and you've really stepped up. One quality was that you're quiet on the touchline. Your presence there is very noted, and maybe you took that a little bit too literally and too far.
It's costing you a fortune, isn't it?
You're paying that for me, isn't it? Fine, Craig.
Phone's going.
Well, Mike Buckley is clearly walking the dog tonight because he's not here. But listen, one thing that's really clear from last season is the home form. Since Tranmere, the 4-1, late September, it's phenomenal. We come here to Plough Lane with the expectation that we can blow any team away. So the question is, did something consciously happen behind the scenes that you addressed that? And then secondly, Sutton United, what a low on Boxing Day. But I've got to remain positive. That's the innate football fan in me, bringing it back to a negative.
That wasn't a question, that was just a statement.
Yeah, quite.
What was the question?
So the home form, did you consciously act upon that to create this, this buzz? And we always come here expecting to blow away any team wherever they are in the league.
Do you know what we...
Gaffer, can I just interrupt? Sutton was my fault because he was already banned and I was rubbish on the touchline. So I'm not a manager, I'm an assistant. I had him in the ears and it didn't really get out to the players. So that was my fault. He's the one with a good record at home.
Thanks, Sherry. What I would say, and I don't think it ties in with the home form, I think it just ties in with everything around the place, is that what we did, Cormac, was we built a new group. We built a completely new group that wasn't tied to the past, didn't have trauma from relegation or not winning here and stuff like that. The people that we brought in the building didn't know about that. They'd heard about that stuff, but they wasn't affected by that stuff, which allowed us to be free, if you like, of any shackles that may have been here. I think all the work that we've done in pre-season, I think the meeting that we had here, about introducing everyone to the football club and Benidorm, what we've done there, it just give us a new found freedom, a new sense of purpose. And I just felt like we attacked the season without any demons of the past, if you like. And that was really important because obviously we came in on the back of a relegation and then a tough season, so that can manifest. So it was important that we addressed that in the recruitment and trying to change the squad and the mentality as much as we could. I mean, we trained here a fair bit, but I don't think it was anything to do with a specific thing. I think it was the way that the types of people, the new group that we recruited, and just basically the new fresh ethos that we had about attacking the season and not worrying about what had gone before. You can't change the past, can you? And there's scars from it, but they're only scars from it if you let it manifest. And we said, bollocks to all that. And it's a new season. Whatever's gone, don't matter. It don't matter. This is us now. We had a new group and we're attacking it. And I think on the main that you've seen that, there's been bumps in the road that you mentioned, and it's never going to be perfect, but in the main, you're seeing a different group and you're seeing a group that goes out there every week that feel like they can win. And certainly that probably weren't there before.
I don't think just to add to that, I don't think we've done too much just concentrating on home form. Obviously, there's a lot of noise. We had an unbelievable away record at the start of the season, and everyone was saying to me, well done, but I'd love to see us win at home. We'd love to win every week. It's going to surprise a few people. I'm a massive stats nerd. So credit to these guys. We obviously came back so we had a couple of blips here, if you like. So we had the crew game, where we've had, numbers-wise, probably our biggest output of the season, and probably should have seen it out. We've had the Bradford game, we lost 1-0, and I don't know how we lost that game 1-0. We got the Forest Green game, I don't know how we've not come out with 3 points. So we had a couple of blips in there, but everything was doing behind the scenes. We tried to be a bit more methodical this year. Our numbers were very good at home. So when people were saying to me, we're performing bad at home, I went, no, the results haven't been good. I think we can all agree the performances, bar a couple of blips, have been very good. So these guys decided to stick to their guns, not listen to the noise, and I don't want to jinx it 2 days for a home game, but I think we've reaped the rewards of holding our nerve, as well as everything Gaffer's just said.
Okay, we're going to take a little bit of a break, if possible, please, and we'll get some more questions after a break. Just on a side note on Mick, he is watching at home, and we've got Michelle representing the board here this evening. Hello, Michelle. Hope you're enjoying it so far. Thank you for your questions. We'll have some more. Should we say about 10 minutes?
Yes.
10 minutes. 10 minutes. Grab yourself a drink. We'll be back in a minute. Thank you. Joining us, mate. Thank you. Okay, give us 2 seconds and we'll get back underway. Just test the mic.
Hello. 1, 2, 1. Sorry for being late, everybody. Someone was asking me about what happened wrong at Weymouth in the FA Cup all that time ago, so I've just been explaining myself for that game.
That was a disappointing 1-1 draw.
He was still really disappointed from that one. So.
Okay.
Hello? Yes.
Okay, we are back for the second half. You guys, your mics are on, guys.
Mine is now. Oh, yeah, mine is now.
They're having a private conversation, their mics are on. Welcome back, everybody, to part 2 of tonight's Meet the Manager event. We are going to take another question. I know Chris Thorpe is now on the mic over on the far side.
Well done, Thorpe.
Thorpe, you've got a question in that corner, sir. Hello. Can we get that? Oh, go on.
Hi, I was just testing out. I'd like to say a bit of way the thing is different to the club. So thank you for me being here with you, Johnnie and Terry. I like to some things like in the team, like you support your team, but the things in the team when they play dirty fouling in the game, you don't really need too many players in the corner in the game. Is that the answer to it? Is that any ideas? I mean, exactly what I'm saying is when you in the middle of the pitch, I mean in the corner, when you play you have AC Ribbon against another team, if you like kicking in the goal, so you don't really need too many dirty fouling in the game.
Okay, I think, well, we try not to give away too many fouls, and, you know, listen, in football, if we're asking our team to run, block, tackle, fight, you know, naturally we are gonna give away fouls, and I never want to stop the boys tackling and stuff like that, but what we try to do if we are going to give away tactical fouls, which I think maybe that's what you're alluding to, and not giving away too many of them, is try and do them in the opposition half. So if you are going to break up a counter-attack with a foul, I think that's a good thing. But the further away from your goal that you do it, the less likely you are to run into yellow cards and stuff like that. The less likely it is that the opposition are going to launch it into your box. You give away, obviously, fouls around the halfway line or inside your own half, that's going to be probably going to result in a free kick coming into your box or a penalty box entry for the other team. So we try and avoid that the best that we can. I'm genuinely not adverse to my team fouling in the opposition half if it breaks up a counter-attack, or if we try and counter-press and we can't win the ball. Very often we say, if you can't win the ball, foul, which for me is a good tactic, as long as it's a long way away from your goal. Tell you're the defender. I don't know, like you want to...
Well, my one is I don't like especially our fullbacks getting early yellow cards, because I think the way that, and our centre-halves as well, but I think the way that we do defend, we like to defend high up the pitch. I think with all of the fullbacks that we've got, one thing that the manager and myself really instill is to be so brave in getting out and getting tight and getting in people's faces to stop crosses. I mean, that's a really big plus from us. I think are we third or fourth, Craig, for clean sheets?
Yes.
One of them two. So we're one of them two.
I was miles away. Yeah, we are.
So we're one of them two for clean sheets. And
joint second, Jonesy said.
Joint second. So we pride ourselves on that. We felt last year that we was a real soft touch. A lot of teams come down, especially late on in games, and got easy goals. Me being a defender and the gaffer, you know, being a box-to-box midfielder, that really hurt us last year, and we wanted to do something about it. So right from the word go, I think people that may have seen the inner sanctum of our changing room We have a template that we use that's got all of our own wordings, the way that we like to defend and the way that we like to attack. So we've got our own vocabulary. So whenever we get out into the fullback areas, we do this thing where we risk getting beat. We're brave. We stop crosses, and we've got such mobility in the 8 to 10 players that we've got that can all play in the back four. We pride ourselves on stopping crosses, tagging men in the box, and making sure that we defend as high as we can. So for us, it's vitally important that we've got no early yellow cards, and we can see a game through, because that changes the mentality and the mindset of how we defend.
I think the next person about to get cleared out with a tackle is Chris Slavin, our head of media. He's brought the gaffer a point. Terry, your face when you saw that coming over, and nothing for you.
Well, I'll take a yellow card next time I see you in the office.
You're in trouble.
Right? And it'll be a 2 foot from behind. All right, Chris, you'll be getting this, son. Don't worry about that.
Okay, next up for a question, just down here, please, Dorothy. I'll buy you a pint if you can do a good Chris Slavin impression as well. Can you? Better than Skivo? No?
Very good.
1, 2, good. Johnny, if I can ask a question, you talked about, if I set the scene, you talked about what we did to Mansfield and the home game following the away game. I'm going to talk about a certain match that's coming up very soon that's got a 12:30 kickoff on a Saturday, which the fans are very passionate about. Do we put too much pressure on the players? Does it come through, this anxiety that we've got to beat this horrible team?
It's a nuanced question. We approach every game with a real desire to win. Obviously, we do the work, i.e. the diligence on the opposition, the stuff that we think is going to hurt the opposition, the stuff that we think they're going to do to us. So we're foolproof in every game, whoever we play, with that. You know, sometimes it works, sometimes it don't, but the preparation is the same. Then it comes down to the motivation. So everyone is very aware of what that means, that game. There's no getting away from it. And that's made very, very clear, and it will be made very clear. And I'm sure when they step out here, you guys will make that very, very clear as well. Then it becomes down to the individual about how they handle that moment. Certain players will be able to go, this is any other game. Certain players will react in a different way, and we just need to try and steer the lads in the direction of trying to win the football match. This is what's going to happen on the day. Try and make everyone aware of the opposition and what they're going to do and stuff like that, but also what the occasion looks like and what the atmosphere is going to be like. You can do all the preparation in the world, but 11 guys have got to walk out on the pitch and be able to handle that, you know, and that's what we will be preparing them for. As far as knowing what it means, let me tell you, there's no grey area, and the lads will be fully aware of what it means to us as a football club.
Thank you. Anyone else before? I mean, we've got loads of other questions. Mark? We'll be with you next, don't worry. Don't worry. Great.
All right, La. That's as good as I can get. We've spoken earlier on about looking like a Wimbledon side, playing like a Wimbledon side, and I think we all kind of had a gut feel for what that looked like and felt like. And we've had other managers who've understood that but not gone along with it and sort of said we can use some elements of it. I think your success in a large part is that you get it and you're delivering what we want, and it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So we're always going to be patient if we're playing that sort of attacking front foot football. Even if we're not scoring and winning games, we've got buy-in for it. But do you think having an identifiable way of playing football makes us easier to play against? As in, we're not coming out one week with 5 at the back, and then the following week we've got 3, and then we've got 4-4-2, etc. I know we had a little dalliance with the diamond, but I think most sort of football fans don't spot that anyway. And formations are pretty much, if you stop the game and look, there's a formation, but it's not rigid. You know, even if on paper it looks 4-4-2, it maybe isn't. But I think we play a particular way, and I just wonder whether that makes us easier to play against, knowing what we're going to do. I think the old Wimbledon side were just very, very good at it and had really good players. It's very well known what Robbie Earl's going to do in a different case in trying to stop Robbie Earl doing it. So he's really our kind of special sauce now, just getting players that are excelling within that formation. So it doesn't matter what the opposition think we're going to do or know we're going to do. We're just too good at it.
I think you have to come up with something that you're good at, Jonesy. Like, I think you're right. And be as good as you possibly can at doing it. And if that's your shtick, then that's your shtick. You know, if you let's look at the top of the league. Wrexham, who's top of the league? Stockport are top of the league. You know, you pretty much know how they're going to play, who they're going to play, what they're going to do, right? But you've got to stop them because they've got really good players that know how to do it well. I think Mansfield the other day are probably the most obvious example. Mansfield play a back 4, a midfield diamond, and a front 2, and they ain't changed for anyone. And they lost 3 games doing it, and they're really good at what they do. They came unstuck against us. Wrexham third? Who's third? Wrexham are third. They play 3-5-2 every single week with 2 forwards, and their wing backs get on and blah blah blah. Like, you know exactly what, you know. Toes is going to throw it in from 40 yards out, but yeah, you know it's coming. Oh, they got long throw. Toes is going to chuck it in your box from anywhere inside their half, but you know you got to deal with it. You know, it's one thing knowing what they're going to and deal with it. And I think if you look around every league at every level, and you said who's the best 4 teams, they don't change for anyone, right? So I think we're probably the next one down, if you like. So we've got to be really good at what we do. We've got to have a clear identity, which we have, and we've got to have buy-in from all the players and know the roles within all of that. But I think we've got to have a little bit of flexibility as well, which we did with the diamond, and that gave us a different way of playing and different way of nullifying other opposition, but also hurting them and stuff like that. But I think if you're a back 5 one week, a back 4, and then you're a 4-3-3, and then you're a diamond, and you're scattergun in your approach, I think you end up with mixed messages, grey areas, and sometimes, you know, players ain't quite sure what you want and stuff like that. So we feel quite comfortable with the way that we play, with our 4-4. What do you call it? What do you reckon it is, Jonesy? Is it?
It'd be 4-4-2 if Omar had a bit more.
Right, there you go. So it's a 4-4, 1.5, and a what? Like we call him 1.5, or 9.5. We call him, whatever. If you look at his heat map, it's like 4-4-1-1, 4-2-3-1, whatever you want to call it. Or we've experimented with the diamond, which we've had really success with as well. But that obviously means that, you know, a Tilly, who's an out-and-out winger, and whoever plays on that side don't play, or they're asked to do something different that might not quite be as their strength. So I think a little bit of flexibility within what we do without ripping it up and changing it, and we've had a bit of success with both. I feel like we've been able to flip to both within games as well. So picking a team that, if that ain't working, you can go bang and maybe change it without having to make a sub is something to look at as well. But try and get good at what you're good at. Try and be the best at, you know, if that's your way of playing, whatever that looks like, can you be the best at that? That's what we're striving towards. At the minute, we ain't quite the best because we ain't up there, but we ain't far behind, and we're pretty good at what we do. And we just want to get better and better and better at doing that, really.
Can I just add to that as well? With it's just the way of, especially the way that the gaffer's got it now. So if Reevesy does come out and Bally comes in, he knows exactly what he's got to do. You know, there's clarity in every role within the team. The right back knows what he's got to do. The left back knows. You know, I think when we had before Connor went back, we had a bit more versatility to go with the diamond. And I think the way that we play and the profile of the players that we've done, I think this year we've had some really good results. You know, we've hit a few really good teams for big scores. You know, Notts County being one of them at home. I think we've shown a real resilience in the way that we play, going away to Chelsea and absolutely shaping them to death, by the way. You know, I think we'd have brought Ali on maybe 20 minutes earlier. We'd have gone and done them, and that would have been the best day of my life, by the way. Going back to an old club and winning. But the manager just wanted a way of playing where every member of the staff and every member of the team knows that when you come out, you go straight in. Last year, there was a few square pegs in round holes, and it wasn't a great watch. And I think maybe 3 or 4 games this season, it's been a sore watch. You know, we talked about Sutton earlier. That was one of them. The team that we don't mention was another one that we was really, really bitterly disappointed of. I'd been at Yeovil for 23 years, and that defeat hurt me more than any game for them. That was how much it really did hurt us as a management team and as a group of players. And that's something I hadn't ever experienced before, to feel that low and to feel that we let people down, because it means more than just football, that. And for us to move forward, we've got to get really good at what we do without worrying about the opposition. So if we really focus on ourselves, we want to go up and down the country, at home and away, getting 3 points, and everyone going, how have they done us? How have they done us? How have they done us? And we'll just skip and dance on the coach on the way home, keep picking up victories. That's what we're looking to do.
Chris, there is a young lad on the 5th table back. There you go. He's got his hand up. He's been waiting very, very patiently. Thank you, by the way, Tel. Thank you very much. Very good.
Harry Potter is really good, like to pass. Like, I've been here like for days, you know. Like you as well, like, you know. What's his name? Johnnie Jackson. You're really good, like coach to all of them. I've been here before. Like, it's really good Saturday. We won, didn't we? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Gaffer. Okay. Any more? I mean, we've got loads of questions that have come in online and on email. I'm really conscious to get through some of those. A few of them are going to be sort of duplicated through answers that, you know, these guys have answered throughout the evening. But I know there's a question there. So let's go over here, please.
There's a couple of questions. Going back to the scouting, how far down the pyramid do we scout? And the other question is, what is the objective for the goalkeeper situation?
So in terms of the pyramid, we go probably step 3, potentially sometimes step 4. So we've just taken out a scouting platform, if you like, a piece of software that a friend of mine's developed and has just started rolling it out to football clubs. And they flag up any player. So with the big clubs, they flag up any player as young as they are that makes a debut at any semi-professional level. We obviously haven't got the resource for that, so we've just taken on a data provider that helps us with that. So we probably won't go for a random game at step 4, step 5, where we might do it at step 3, but we would go off recommendations, any tip-offs, anything this data company flag up or our contacts flag up. So we're open-minded and we're broad about what we look at. So the way we look at it is, so in the non-league pyramid, step 1 is a national league. Step 2 is National League South, National League North, where it starts to split. Step 3 is Southern Central, Isthmian League, all those sort of levels, and it starts to come down from there. And then the second question was goalkeepers. Yeah, so it's obviously, it's something we're talking about at the moment, and we'll talk about it for the next couple of months. Obviously, we're really happy with our stable of goalkeepers, if you like. We've got a very good number 1 and we've got a very, very good number 2 as well, and they push each other all season, and when Nick's come in, he's done really well, and Bass's played, he's done really well. So it's just something that we're going to monitor for the rest of the season, and then we'll make a decision probably as we get close towards the end. Because obviously we've got a lot of time. There's a big period over the summer as well. There's a bigger gap this summer than it was last year, so we're going to take our time and hopefully make the right decision.
Okay, I'm going to read out some questions that have been sent in on email. There's quite a few which are very similar, so I'm going to try and merge them together. Tom Gavin and Ken Matthews are both going down the set pieces route. Tom has asked, can I ask Johnny why when we are defending corners, do we never leave at least one, ideally two players upfield as an outlet? With the current plan, this only encourages the away team to flood our box with players, making it a bit of a free-for-all. On the flip side, Ken Matthews has asked, please could you ask the manager why we never leave someone up the pitch when the opposition have a free kick or corner? Also, can you ask why we always seem to leave our back post completely uncovered at corners and free kicks? Are you writing this down? This is you should have your little notepad out. Corners and free kicks. I've worked it out that at least 75% of goals we let in are scored, that's a stat for you, are scored because we have no last man at the back post. Surely the goalie should direct his defence, and one of the things he should make sure of is that he has plenty of cover at the back post. Just a suggestion. One tall man at the front, one in the middle, one at the back. Have you got that?
It's very hard to do that if we're leaving 9 up. And I'll just say that for starters. If I can answer the first part, I think there was a study in English football about how many goals are actually scored to how many goals you concede by leaving a man up. I think in the case of a season, you may get 2 to 3 goals maximum by leaving 1 or 2 players up a football pitch, and the statistic of conceding goals would be more, because I think if you realise that if you play against Mansfield, they put 6/7 in a box, so maybe sometimes you miss that kind of aspect if you're watching the game. But it's becoming, because of the software and what you have got, it's becoming a lot more detailed with blocks. I think we are +6, Craig?
Just say yeah.
No, but yeah.
I think
we were 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think we're +6, so we're in a lot better place than we was last year. We still think we can score a lot more. We consider a penalty box entry with when the ball comes in, if it gets cleared and then gets put in, that would still be classed as a set play. And we're really pleased at the moment because we've just found out that one of our players has a long throw. So I think we're going to start seeing a little bit of the manager's been asking for it for a long time, and was actually playing against Bradford, and Kofi's launched one up the line, and we've gone. And he didn't actually say a thing for the 2 days that he was in, that he actually had it. So
I think it's something like Tom Dawes, our analyst, did a big study in the summer, didn't he, about set plays. It's something we've been methodical about. A friend of mine and the gaffers said to me a couple of years ago, if you've not got a team that can go and afford to go and buy a 20-goal a season striker, or obviously we had one, hopefully we've got one again, but try and get 20 goals from set pieces. So we've been methodical in how we plan for that, and I think we was 11 a couple of weeks ago, so we're over where we should be at this stage.
Your computer didn't pick up that long throw though, did it?
Yeah, it did. Know about that. Told him. No.
Just not to do the question a disservice either. Like we put our best header on the 6-yard box unopposed. We put one of our best headers on the front post unopposed, so their job's to go and attack it. Of course, that means that if you then want to put one of your best headers on the front post and on the back post, you're left with some of your not best headers marking Aidan Flint, who's 7'2". You know what I mean? So it's like you've got to find that balance between getting the zones right, getting the right people marking, and what it also is, saying about man on the front. It's a collaboration with the goalkeeper as well, because different goalkeepers like different things. That some goalkeepers want their posts taken care of. Some goalkeepers want someone on their toes. Some want the freedom to come and get it and stuff like that. So it can't be a dictatorship. It's a collaboration between coaches, defenders, and the goalkeeper, and you try and come up with the right solutions for different oppositions as well.
Can I thank Ken and Tom for the questions? Thank you, guys. Couple more that was sent in earlier. We've got one from Andy. Well, two from Andy. It says 2 searching questions for JJ on Thursday. Firstly, as and when you're offered a new contract later this season, which you deserve, will you sign it?
Yes.
Done. Second, and this is the technical, this is verbatim, by the way, you can read this afterwards. As a bald slaphead, I'm jealous of any man with as luxurious a coiffure as yours. What hair product do you use, please?
That wasn't from me.
I'm going to have to start using Just for Men soon, because it's the greys are coming in, as you know what I mean. It's like the stress, the greys are coming in. I've got.
You should ask him.
I've got a decent nut on me, but the greys.
One more question from online. This is from Adam, who has said he's delighted with the strengthening of the squad in terms of numbers in January. However, as last season, we seem again to have picked up injuries and a large number of yellow cards. At the last Meet the Manager, it was suggested that discipline would be addressed. Do you feel that this has been successful, or are further measures required to ensure our best players are available?
Can I just pick up on the injury one then? Obviously, I made a big song and dance in the summer about improving the training facilities and the injury protocol and the testing. Our actual muscle injuries, the soft tissue ones that we can control, well, semi-control and have a look at, have dramatically decreased. A couple that we've got at the moment are tendons or little bony areas and stuff like that. So we've been a bit unlucky with those ones, but in the main, touch wood, we're doing okay.
Anything on that, boss?
No, I agree. I think if you look at Joe and Jono's injuries, just freak occurrences. So what you can really try and control, I suppose, as a medical team and staff, is the soft tissue ones.
Yeah.
Would you agree? Which, like Craig says, are dramatically down. You've still got a couple, but if you look through every club, they're going to have a couple. But your knees and your ankles going and stuff like that, they're freak ones that unfortunately they happen when you're playing football. There was another bit to the question which was around discipline. Too many sendings off, no getting away from it, but none of them have been for calling a referee, apart from me, by the way. Calling a referee something you shouldn't call a referee, but I'm not on the pitch, so it's not as important. But we want the boys to run, block, tackle, fight, right? So tackling is going to come with a price at times. A couple of the ones recently have become, the last man tackle, where it's been a red card, not a lack of discipline, but lads trying to recover a situation that obviously happens in football. Yeah, we could obviously deal with it better defensively, but it's not a discipline issue, if you like, where lads are, dissent. The one dissent and stuff like that are the ones that you really sort of get a bit peed off with, because they're avoidable. But if we're going to be a team that asks boys to run, block, tackle and fight,
they've got to do that.
Yeah, and with that comes yellow cards occasionally. There's going to be red cards with it. We don't ever ask anyone to go out and be dirty and go over. Terry always says as they're going out that when we're tackling, make sure you keep your toes down. Tell us that your thing, keep your toes down.
Yeah, just never open it up so that a ref can, interpret it in a way. Yeah, I'm just going back to the set play ones. The ones that kill us as well was when Omar's just about to tap the ball in against Bradford. The man spins him round like a top, and the referee makes out it's nothing had happened.
It was the first day of the Six Nations, to be fair.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that one. He had a great game though. Ref.
It was bad. Another question. This is a tough one for you, boss.
Me.
Can you ask JJ about the habit of making late subs and what the thinking is behind leaving subs so late sometimes?
It's not a habit or a thinking. It's a reaction to every game. Sometimes I think you can think that you have to make a sub just for sub's sake. Sometimes you've got to react to the flow of the game. Sometimes you do a little look like that and you think maybe the best ones to see the game out or to get us something are in front of you. And if not, you make changes, whatever. But it's not it's not a God-given rule or a thing that you have to make a sub on anyone. You know, let's not get this misconstrued. I ain't Pep, but Pep Guardiola makes less subs than anyone in the Premier League, and sometimes he don't make any for 90 minutes. You know, so it's not you have to make subs. It's you got to try and make the right ones at the right time, just not for the sake of it. And if we feel like, you know, we made 2 subs against Mansfield at the right time, that pays off, and one sub sets up another sub to go and score, and that looks great. But on another day that don't work, and another day you've got to try and see the game through, or sometimes you might think, do you know what, a point's good here, we're solid, we're in the game, we're fine, whatever. It's just reactions to how we see it, and it's not, you know, it's not an autonomy. It's obviously ultimately it's my decision, but it's discussions on the bench with Terry and Rob and the guys, and we always just, it's like picking an 11. You pick an 11 that you think is going to do the job, and it's trying to make the right ones at the right times. You get some right, you get some wrong. I think we've got a lot right this year. Maybe last season we got some wrong and stuff like that, but we was hamstrung at times where you are looking around and thinking, shit, like we'll stick with what we've got. But it's a fine balance. It's a fine balance, and you know, it's just trying to get more right than wrong, I guess.
Cope, one question for you from Drew Fawcett, who asks, what's next for the focus of the club, fighting for promotion or finding young talent to showcase and then send them on to other clubs to invest that money finding and developing the next?
Good question, to be fair. Well, there is a plan. There is, obviously, we've come in, we've started to set the foundations in place. We think we've got a core squad, so we want to try and do both. The first summer, so last summer just gone, was all about trying to put a team together that can go and compete at the level. So a lot of the players we brought in had played at League 2, played at National League level, played at League 1, had a stock at the level. Now we've got that core, and obviously trying to retain a few people, some people are going to move on. We've obviously lost one big asset in Ali. We feel we've got a couple more assets in the squad still. But this summer we can go and look at those younger players that are maybe playing non-league or getting released from 21s that have had good loans out there, and so that we're probably a bit more expansive with that this summer, as well as trying to bring in a couple more from the level, if that makes sense.
We've got another question in. It's about that game, the 12:45 in a few weeks' time, and I feel that we've covered that, so we'll push on. And this is a question to all of you, because it involves all of you. It's a great question from Robert Moyle, who asks, how much do fans' contributions count for players, and what can we do to improve to help the team?
Do you mean contributions in terms of around or?
I think it's who said cash? I think it's on the pitch. It's atmosphere. It's bringing the atmosphere on a match day. It's seeing people in the ground. I mean, look, the ground's full every week.
Yeah, I don't like to talk about the obviously it's a unique model here with being fan owned and stuff like that. But let's just talk about what happens out there. And I mean, we've got no complaints whatsoever about the support that we get. Home games are an absolute joy. The way that the guys and girls travel in numbers to support us on the road is phenomenal, I think, for the level. So it's just, for me, it's just more of the same. And the more that we can get coming, the more noise that you can make, it's all positive, and it's all fuel and incentive just to help us get where we want. But certainly, like, we've got no complaints. I think the support that we get, for when you think about the level that we're at, and the way that the crowds that we have here, I think they're well up, aren't they, this season?
Yeah.
And the way that you lot travel in your numbers to come and support us is unreal. And it's just, for me, it's just more of the same, and the more the merrier, and hopefully the more that we can deliver out there, the more people want to come back, new supporters, and just keep it going, really. It's not like, what can you do more? It's just keep it up, because it's different class.
You seem like you're enjoying the atmosphere a bit more. I like seeing you go towards the south stand, taking the adulation, You're not quite Steve Evans fist pumping yet. You're not quite there, but you're well, it's sort of, you're taking it. You're appreciating the love.
you know, 1 minute you're fist pumping, the next minute you got your hands in your head, ain't you? So it's trying to keep calm. That's why when I run down the touchline, you got Terry there who's cool and calm, and he's like, we can't both be doing that, can we? Tell like someone's got to keep it cool. But
I've got no yellow card spare. We couldn't both get sent off. So. But I'd just like to add one thing to that. As I was listening to one of the radio shows this morning, and I think there's a massive stadium that's just down the road, Twickenham, and they're all moaning about the atmosphere and of the England supporters, and it's not the actual, you know, club supporter that goes to Twickenham. It's all corporate, and it's all. Well, the one thing that you do know here, it's supporters that have got a hell of a passion. You grew you took this ground, as you know, from the flames. You built it back up again, and this means more than probably any club up and down the country. And the one thing that we do realise is that when the gaffer gets to share that moment, and you actually look at everybody's eyes, you can see the pure passion of winning a football game for this football club. And you know, like they all moan about there's no atmosphere and that. We have definitely got it within this massive stadium and this great stadium, and we are so well supported. And it's proper fans, not corporate prawn sandwich brigades. Proper supporters that come in, and we knew that last year when the gaffer come up and he stood up and he, you know, there was some things that was said that, you know, you'd think, "Oh, that's a bit strong," but it was passion manifesting itself. And now we've got the club and the squad within a good place. The weakness that it may have felt to us, where you feel like maybe you're being attacked at certain times, now it's a massive strength of us, and we really do feel it. You know, we felt it. Mansfield, 90 plus 2 minutes. We were still attacking. We were still on the front foot. We were still creating chances. They were getting chances as well. But we felt that with the atmosphere, it wasn't toxic. It wasn't, you know, all moaning. It was a positive vibe that was going around, and that helped us get the win. And you know, when you talk about supporters, more of that, because when the game's tight and the game's in the balance, every time we go forward, and you know, who would imagine that Bass would do a Cruyff on the edge of his own box? I mean, at that time, like that, he had 4 more grey hairs. But then we go on from doing that to then go and get the winning goal. And the moment after that was magical. And the passion of everything that happened after it was magical. And we need more of that. And we do feel the supporters do give us that.
Yeah, I think just I want to touch on that. I didn't quite understand it. I'm a football fan. I've come from that background, and I think I said to Slavo after the Swindon game last year, "Are we going to be all right getting out?" So I didn't fully understand it, but I think you guys have been so patient over the last 3-4 years. Obviously, you've built this place. You've dragged it up from the ashes, as Terry said. Obviously, there's been frustrations of the past 3-4 seasons and last seasons, and sometimes this year. But I think it's us against the world now a little bit. Everyone is, you know, we take it personally, everything that happens on the pitch, and I think all of us together are going to help dragging this club forward like you have done previously. It's just we're the 3 that get to pick who comes in and what we sort of play. So that's been magnificent.
Okay, we are running very much over time. I've done the questions from online. I've done the questions that have been emailed in. Has anyone got any final questions? We're going to have a mic running around. Anyone else for any other questions? Gentleman over here, please.
Just Terry, you mentioned earlier that we defend very kind of brave and aggressive and kind of keep that high line. I just want, with Johnson and Lewis out for a while, does that have to change at all with the backups we've got there, or do we keep the same style?
Well, I think what we've got to do is we've got to make sure that we, you know, I think Brownie's come in and I think he's been tremendous in the couple of games. I mean, to bring him from playing left back into centre half, you know, I can remember the game on Saturday, he did a block, I think hit him square in the face, was that right? And he was celebrating like he'd scored a goal, you know, and it was, and the combination of him and Jack, and also with us bringing Kofi in as well, you know, who's got legs, he can run, the boy, and we've got, you know, Huss, and we've got Oggs as well that have got legs. I still think we can keep that line. And Brownie, believe it or not, on the turn he's okay. So for us, it's not changing too much. But listen, if we've got a lad that's up front that's absolutely lightning quick, we would have to look at that. But we wouldn't change our distance from anything more than 5 or 6 metres. So we're going to continue to do what we do. You know, if you was to ask Jurgen Klopp what he would do when he's got them all out, he's going to play the same way. So we'll still be brave, we'll be on the front foot, and whoever plays in that back four, we practice doing what we preach. So we'll carry on to do that.
There is another question I forgot to mention, Craig. It's actually buried in a massive question about set pieces, but we've touched on them already. It suggested that Ali could end up the record League Two transfer, given that the total fees for Ollie Watkins ended up over £6 million. Do we have a sell-on clause as one of the add-ons?
Yeah. So there's no sort of like official records. You don't go into a database and see, oh, he went for that, he went for that. I think for actual initial package, I feel this is a club record, a league record deal we've just done for the player. But you can't really say that because Exeter might go there and then someone else, Bristol City from Cheltenham might come up and go like that. So from our industry knowledge, I think this is a league record deal already. There are loads of add-ons. Because it's great getting the upfront money and the guaranteed money, which is fantastic, but then you want to, if they do well, if they're making money, we should make money because we've spent the year, these guys have spent the year developing him, turned to the best player in League Two, and hopefully he goes and smashes it there. So if he does sell on, we've got a healthy sell on. If they achieve if they achieve promotion or he plays X amount of games, or there's all those little nibbly bits in there as well, we can get money coming in constantly. We did the same with a couple of other players who moved on.
Brilliant. Any final questions before we close this season?
Just kidding.
Young man in the cap there.
This one is for all of you, and you have your fair share of experience. From the teams that you have seen, are we going up?
Right, let me go first.
Aaron can go first.
I'll go first. How do I start? It's a very difficult league. And for me, I think this is probably fair. For me, I think that the top three at the minute probably look like the top three. They've got a little bit away from everyone else, and it's going to be difficult to reel them in. But looking behind that, I think there's places up for grabs. I think we've put ourselves in a really, really good position where we're 1 point outside the playoffs, which I think, if we're realistic, we'd have probably all took at this stage. Craig spoke about some games earlier in the season that we feel like we outperformed the actual result. The Crew, Forest Green, what was the other one, Craig? Bradford games where we probably should have got more than what we got out of it, but every other team doing this now will be talking about that. So where are we? We're a point outside the playoffs. We're giving ourselves a really good shot. So for me, our aim has to be to try and get in that top 7. I said that when I was sat here with AP before a ball being kicked, right? That has to be our aim. And then if you get in that, who bloody knows, you know what I mean? It's like you got every chance then, ain't you? So it looks like top three's hard. Looks like that's hard, but top 7's up for grabs for me, and why can't we be one of them, eh?
It's amazing. Obviously, being an EFL journalist, if you look at League One last year, how difficult League One was, and we use a word, concertina, when the table concertinas into different formations where you have the title front runners and then you have the playoff positions and then you have those at the bottom. It was so late into the season. We're sat there watching League One going, there could be about 10 teams that go for the playoffs or 14 teams. That's League Two now. League One is actually quite a desolate place. Look at Stevenage and what they're doing. So I think it's just a case of I just enjoy coming here sort of fearless, enjoying it and saying we're not scared of anybody. So it's great. I was more watching Cope though, because he went into full chase mode, and I had to tell Terry, just looking back at the screen, you looked a bit scared. There's a great question over there, but you looked a bit concerned at it.
No, I think it's a great question. Put us on our toes. I've made a lot of noise about obviously trying to put those foundations in place so we can have future success and continue up the pyramid. I don't see why we can't get in the playoffs this season. Obviously, Aaron just said there that you can actually get teams finish 14th and be 3 points off the playoffs in some years in League Two, but everything we're doing now is geared towards trying to finish in the top 7.
Terence?
Automatic promotion's boring, isn't it? I think we've all... Let's go out in the playoffs. I mean, if we're going to do anything, let's get on the day where we're all nervous, scared, and I'm fortunate enough to have done that before. And there ain't no better feeling than going up the steps at Wembley, getting yourself promoted with a nice big fat gold medal round your neck. So why not?
Okay, we are at 9:20. Is there a last question? Because I've got one special one at the end for both these chaps. Any last questions? No? Everyone all questioned out? Okay, my question to you guys is, you've just signed new contracts to stay here at the most incredible football club out there, and we're so happy to have you. Favourite moment over the past year, when you reflect and you sit and you look back, and I'll say the calendar year, rather than last season, and I'll take half of last season, half of this season. Favourite moment, Johnnie and Terry?
It's easy for me. It was just the other Saturday, the last game here. It was when we scored that goal. I think you saw from my reaction and sort of the pent-up tension and the way that the game went and how important it was for us on the back of a really difficult week, that to score that goal in that moment, and lost me nut, didn't I? Run down like a wally, nearly slipped over, but I just wanted to be with the lads in that moment. And it
celebration, please.
Yeah, it weren't by design. It's just because you're so caught up in it, and it means that much. And the fever pitch in the ground at that stage is just for me. That's why I do it. That's why we do it. Because you live for those moments. Football, for me, there ain't nothing else that can give you moments like that but football. And thankfully, the club gave me that moment, and we want more of them. But that was blinding. I've got to say.
Terry.
Well, my one's probably going to be a little bit more philosophical. I think when we first walked into this job, in our minds, you think how it's going to go, and you're trying to picture and manifest how it's going to go, but we didn't know anything really. And my favourite moment is probably right now, speaking to you, having signed a new deal, being so excited about knowing the club, knowing how we're working, feeling what it means to people, also having a stronger squad to work with, and we know where we are, and it's a real good moment, because we had some dark days. It's been an immense journey so far that feels like it's gone within seconds, but being able to put the energy into working and pushing this club forward. I can speak for the gaffer as well. We've spoken over the last few days of how excited we are and how much energy this has given us to really kick on as a management team for this football club. So I would actually say right now, knowing that we've got the chance to see how far we can really go. I think when we first come in, there was a lot of firefighting and a lot of building. I think that's gone now, and I think for us it's developing where we are and seeing how far we can go. So I'm really excited by this.
Well done, Terry.
He's a lot more romantic than you, boss.
I'm the emotion. Terry's the stoic in the partnership.
Terry's the goods in the back. You're the shop window. Cope, anything for you, mate?
Favourite moment since being here?
Yeah.
Apart from Red Line in Benidorm. No. Coventry at home, going through all the back end of the season, walking into the office, seeing you two after games, and feeling the pain of everything. And you've made a sub really late. You've made 2 subs really late, and the kid who was in the recruitment office 3-4 months before has just set up the winner and scored, set up the first goal and scored the winner to get to beat Coventry here, and then people in the boardroom after telling me that was our first Plough Lane moment here, and then us in the office, and then I drew Chelsea after. That's going to take some beating.
Yeah.
That was a very, very good evening.
Plough Lane moment. This has been a fantastic Plough Lane moment. Thank you everyone for joining us this evening. Really appreciate your time, questions. Really appreciate it. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to Terry Skiverton and our manager Johnnie Jackson on signing new contracts here. Big round of applause to them. And thank you, Craig Cope, for just being yourself and bringing some pride back to our football club and some real excitement and a buzz back to this place, because we needed it. We love you to bits. Well done, mate. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Big thank you to AP as well for hosting. What a guy, eh?
Yeah, well, Aaron.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Really appreciate it. See you, Barrow, Saturday. It's going to be fun. Come on, you dons.